And people were looking at their tickets. I paid that much for this? I thought he was an honest and fair fellow. What the fucking hell is going on here, right? And we're going to do the question and answer if you have anything like that, right? So, anybody got any questions? Maybe we'll do a bit of that, and I got a couple more songs. Got a question? Yeah, sure.
For some Toronto content, do you have any stories about your time here with the school?
Say that again. Hey, Bill, you want to turn the mic? Here's the speaking mic. Here, let me a little bit. Bill's got it. I'll let you deal with it.
For some Toronto content, do you have any stories with your time here with the Skulls?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we, when we were like 18, 19, and we started our first punk rock band, it was called The Skulls. And we heard about it was the Crash and Burn. So we read about the Demics playing at the Crash and Burn, right? Okay, yeah. And, oh my God, this story could take about 40 minutes. I lived here for about 5 months, so we thought, okay, well, let's move to Toronto. That looks like the hotspot of punk rock. There's nothing happening in Vancouver, so we got what's called a drive-through. It was a motorhome. We drove from Vancouver to Toronto in the wintertime, right? And we got there, and we managed to get there without any fucking accidents or anything like that. When we dropped it off at the rental place, one of the things that happens, a motorhome has a toilet. The toilet stopped flushing because it was so fucking cold. So it's one of these things when you get the overarch, there's a toilet seat, but the pile of poop and stuff like that was above the seat level, right? Just saying, this is the facts of life. I'm not trying to be gross or anything. It's one of those things, right? When you gotta go, right? So, yeah. And we got to Toronto and we stayed at this hotel. It was like $2 a night. And just east of Yonge Street, and all the windows had holes in them, and the blankets were 3 feet long. So you sat there with like 2 or 3 blankets on you, breezing through the night. But it was a really formative thing. I forget the name of the hotel. It's been long torn down. But I actually sat there, and probably half the songs you hear in the first DOA album I wrote on the steps there because I had nothing to do, right? Yeah. And then we moved up. We got a house, I want to say, near Ossington, north of Bloor, by the GO trains there. And the realtor says, yeah, this will be really good. There's a really great guy. He loves music. It was drunken old Ed, owned this house, but he needed some money, so he let these punk rockers move in with him, right? So the very first time we practiced, and we rented a bunch of gear from Lon McQuaid, the guy grabs a case of beer, and as we're playing a bunch of songs like I just played, he starts dancing around. And eventually he goes like, he starts writing on his wall, these punks are trying to kill me. Call the police now. Please call the police, right? And then we'd have these parties, and the crew from like, not the Diodes, but the Wild Tones, the B-Girls and stuff like that all come over. And we've been making so much noise that all of a sudden the Toronto police were there. And I go like, yeah, can I help you, officer? Well, there's been a few noise complaints, and this is not the first time. I said, well, it must be Ed or drunken landlord, right? I knew how to diffuse things in those days, right? So, and we managed to get away with that, and we eventually moved out there. So they stayed in Toronto for about. So I am an ex-Torontoid. Is that how you say it? Yeah.
Torontoid. That's good.
Yeah, and. Oh shit! My friend Mike, the singer from The Ugly were our favorite band to play with. They were fucking great guys, right? And they moved up to Vancouver, and things didn't go that well. And I remember on his 30th birthday, I was at one of their shows, and sort of beat up bar in Vancouver down in Chinatown. And he goes, "Joe, I'm 30 years old. Look what I've got." I go, "What's that, Mike?" "A fucking beat up car and a bunch of scratch Iggy Pop records." I go, "Well, that's not so bad, is it?" I wouldn't mind having those Iggy Pop records, right? Any other questions? I hope that answered that. Yeah. Okay, I see. Anybody else? Like, how'd you get the name Shithead? How'd you stay out of jail, right?
Oshawa, yeah.
I played with you in 1996. I opened up for you in 1996.
Where was it in Oshawa? Say the name?
Moon River.
Oh, the Moon Room. Sure, it wasn't like well, we played there first time in Oshawa like 3 nights, like in '79 on our first tour. We couldn't believe it. Like they fed us and they actually paid us. It was the only time in the entire career.
96.
96, huh? What was that place that was downstairs in Oshawa that the bikers ran?
Must have been St.
Yeah, it's, the moon room.
Is that the Moon Room? Yeah, I'd rather be on the fucking moon than play that fucking joint.
Eclipse.
That's when we first started playing there, and
Yeah. It was like a steam pit downstairs, right?
I can't remember that.
I do. I played there about 4 times. It's horrible. All respect to the former owners. Oh, I didn't mean that. Oshawa, I'd say, yeah, good town. I mean, it's making cars. What's that?
The schwa.
Don't drink the swamp.
Say that again.
They call it the schwa.
Oh, okay.
The nickname.
Nickname.
Don't drink the schwa.
I gotcha. Well, I won't buy into that commentary. After all, I'm an elected politician, so I'd be free and fair to everybody if you want me to be your prime minister. Anybody vote for me as prime minister? Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, this would be good. I got one more song for you, but I'm going to tell you a story about DUA at the Whiskey A Go Go with our old friend Black Flag, one of my favorite bands of all time, right? Yeah, great stuff. So Chuck Dukowski, I used to exchange phone numbers and locations and promoters with him. And I go, Chuck, don't go to Sacramento. This guy, Bo, runs his company. It's called Can't Tell Productions. He goes, what's that mean? He says, well, it means you can't tell what the fuck you're going to get paid from this fucking guy, right? And so me and Chuck trade all these things, and then basically Black Flag and DOA built the whole traveling punk rock circuit around North America. Yeah. Great band, right? Yeah, great guys. And so we played this. So Chuck says, you guys want to come down? We were going down to California 6 times a year. There was like, California's home away from home. Because we had a choice. Well, it's 3,000 miles to Toronto. It's really cold. Or it's 1,000 miles to California. And it's really warm. Well, let me think about that for about half a second, right? Sorry, I'm not trying to be cruel here.
Yeah.
I love Toronto. And so it says, yeah, come on down and play Madame Wong's. It's a famous place in Chinatown in Los Angeles. And you remember the Jack Nicholson film, Chinatown? Yeah. And things were rough down there. And we played, it was like, 4 bands played, Black Flag, DOA, and 2 others that were like fairly well known, I can't remember. And at the end of the night, I don't know, like 10 paid people showed up. Like, this is a big crowd compared to that, right? And Chuck goes, Joe, I'm sorry, but here's your money. We split up even. Here's $9. Okay, we're 1,500 miles away from Vancouver. Here's $9. Okay, thank you, my friend. And we're kind of like, well, am I supposed to piss into the gas tank to keep the car going, right? That doesn't quite work, right? You know, maybe in future technology, right? It might, right? And anyways, so, and then about 3 weeks later, our manager goes like, okay, we want to go down and play with Black Flag again. I said, we were just down there. We got $9. What the fuck is wrong with you, right? And he goes, oh, no. I said, the Whiskey A Go Go, famous Whiskey A Go Go. I went, okay. So what do they give us? Well, they'll give you $175. Well, we increased our pay by approximately 183.8%, I think, right? Something like that. That quick mathematical calculation. Anyway, so we go down there, and we got there, and Chuck says, boy, the first show sold out, so we'll pay the same again. We'll do a second show. We'll start one at 7, start the second show at 9:30. Well, that sounds great, right? And we'd gone down in a Volkswagen Rabbit, and it's like the 4 of us, and you had the guitars in between the seats, you couldn't move your elbows type thing. And so we got there, and the first show went off without a hitch. And then all the people from the second show were waiting on the sidewalk outside the Whiskey. People from the first show emptied out. An LAPD cruiser went by. And let's just say in those days, the LAPD did not like punk rock. In fact, I kind of doubt that they do now, right? But whatever, right? And the cruiser went by, and a punk threw a beer bottle at it and smashed off the front fender. And what's the crowd do? The crowd cheered, yeah! Right, and a few more flew. So the police are going like, fuck you, right? And then a couple cruisers came back the other way. And of course, a whole bunch more bottles went, and we're like, oh, this can't be good. Next thing we knew, we saw choppers in there, which you always see with the police in LA, right? They're really good at it. And about 40 police cars pulled up, blocked all the intersections, and then about maybe 80 cops got out in front of the intersection so nobody could run anywhere. Finally, the sheriff came out, the head guy, and he had a shotgun. He put the shotgun over his head and he walked around in a circle to make sure all the punks saw the shotgun. And he looked at everyone like, I got this. You got fucking nothing. And then he did one quick signal. All of a sudden the cops came out with their batons and started fucking beating everybody. It was like fucking chaos, right? Running from side to side, trying to get out of there. And then everybody was like ringed in. Needless to say, the second show was canceled. I go, Chuck, do we still get the $175? I go, Joe, yeah, right. And it's like, you know, that's actually what made DOA famous in California, because it got into the LA Times. There was news things that they went like, first riot at the Whiskey Since the Doors in 1966, right? And punks caused riot, right? So that's where my old friend Chuck, he's a great guy, still doing well. And I love Flag, love Black Flag, whatever incarnation they are. Nobody trusts Greg, but that's a whole different story. I don't ask my friend Bob Mold. Don't ask the Minuteman. I could go on, right? But I got one more for you. You know, and he ain't around no more, but he's one of the greatest of all time. I hear that train coming around that bend. I ain't seen the sunshine. I don't know when, but I'm fucking more some prison. Time to jagging on. I hear that train rolling on down to San Antonio. Now when I was a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't you play with a gun. But I shot a man in Reno, just to watch him die. I shot the motherfucker. I hear that train rolling, I hang my head and cry. I sure won't die. Woo! Yeah! Do it! The tuk-tuk ride with some fancy dining car. They're probably drinking coffee and smoking big cigars. I know I had it coming. I know I can't be free. Well, people keep a rolling, and that's a torture. Well, pick me from that prison. We won't tell my mind. No, I'm moving on a little farther down the line. From the Folsom prison, that's where I want to stay. I let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. Let's do one more time. Whoa! Sure! Thanks everybody who played tonight, especially Chris organized all this shit. They're great, and all of you coming down here. And don't forget my buddy Shane's in the back. He's got t-shirts and all that stuff. Do it! Encore, I think he just ran out of fucking song.